Hi Taurus, this is your horoscope for November 2018. Let's have a look at what the month has in store for you. Now, the first thing to be aware of is that Venus, your ruler, that is in retrograde until the 16th of November, and it goes direct then. It goes direct, let me see. It's in your 6th house of daily routine and work and your physical health and other people until the 16th. So relationships and working relationships, watch out that there aren't a lot of miscommunication here for the first 2 weeks of the month. It goes direct in your 6th house. So work and working relationships and the way you feel about yourself will also improve. You know, the first 2 days of or the first couple of days of this Venus retrograde, it can also make you feel like you don't like your own body. It can give you a flawed perception of what you yourself look like, and it's a time when you shouldn't make judgments. It's in your 6th house of working relationships, daily routine, and your health. So make sure that you don't make any big decisions. Make sure that you don't offend people deliberately, and that you focus on the work that you're doing, and that you don't try and kind of do it, that you don't multitask too much, and that you keep your eye on the goal, one thing at a time. Uranus is also sitting right underneath your rising, so Uranus is chaos and the unexpected, and it's at 0 degrees in your sign. So you have lots of energy, but that could go anywhere. So if you're working, then use the conventional energy to do that and earn money. But if you have a passion on the side, really spend a lot of time doing that, or look at how you can turn your passion into your actual career and into your vocation. So from the 1st until the 3rd of November, it's very much about family, romance, connecting with people who are friends, people you love. There's also the potential to meet someone new on the 3rd of November. Now on the 4th of November we have Mars, and that squares Jupiter. Jupiter is the lucky planet. It's in Scorpio and it's at 29 degrees in your 7th house of relationships. It squares, so it's 90 degrees away from Mars, which is the male principle, and that's in Aquarius in your 10th house. So there's friction between wanting to teach others and making that your career, and really connecting with people on an emotional level. Now, what will serve you most is if you're in a profession where you have to be a psychologist or a psychic or a clairvoyant or a surgeon, where you have to identify the problem during this square, 4th of November until the 30th of November, you have extra good luck on your side because Jupiter is at 29 degrees, it's heightened. In Scorpio, it allows you to discover what the problem is. Mars, at 23 degrees in Aquarius, is able to then teach other people how to do this healing work that you've done yourself. So if you have any opportunity this month to teach in your work, and it doesn't matter if you're an architect or a chiropractor or a nurse, if you say, listen, I've got this technique or this language that I've built around what we're doing, and it seems to be really effective, then share that with other people, and it will have an effect on you career-wise, which means that you have more freedom in your working life. So maybe you get promoted. Usually the people who are more senior have more freedom in my experience. So that square is also going to invigorate your relationships. Transiting midheaven and the sun are also in your 7th house in Scorpio. So it's by communicating and being of service that you can kind of shift the energy and shift your position in the company and get people to look at you differently so that you can progress. If you're retired, then this is a great time to dig deep into your own emotions or into other people's emotions, and to either produce something creative or to teach other people. Now, 5th of November, And the 6th of November, we've got the moon in Libra next to your Venus, which is in retrograde in the 6th house. So the 5th and 6th, again, try and make sure you don't come across a certain way. You know, like if you're going to volunteer, don't wear all the diamonds and the jewels. If you're if you're having a party, don't tell your most outrageous jokes. It's not the right time. Venus in retrograde means that people are more prone to not like you than like you. So you've got to kind of keep it factual, have fun, but don't put your foot in it. That's what I keep getting. On the 7th, we have the new moon in Scorpio. Now, I'll make separate videos on the new moon and the full moon because they have a lot of energy in themselves, and they can be complicated in terms of what they create. But the new moon, the important thing for you is that it's in Scorpio and it happens in your 7th house of relationship, next to your transiting midheaven and Jupiter. So you pull in loads of Scorpio energy on the 7th, which gives you an understanding of what your work is about and how you can expand your work. This is ideal for self-employed people. So anyone who has their own healing practice or works alone as a psychic or as a faith healer or as who has a restaurant or flipping houses or a detective, anything like that, it pulls so much Scorpio energy in that you'll be able to identify the problems in relationships. So you can use that to influence people, and you can also heal your own relationships by talking about them. Like if you have a relationship and the two of you are like, you both know something's off, but you haven't talked about it, and you're just, everything's fine, but something is just not off. You can address that and say, you know, this marriage hasn't really worked out the way either of us saw it, did it? And then you can talk about it together, and you can say, because it's so often, sometimes when you have a problem with your partner is the last person you want to speak to about it because you hurt their feelings. But you've got to. So you during this new moon have an ability to heal relationships, romantic relationships, family relationships, all sorts of relationships through communicating, and don't be afraid because you get it. You're very tactful, you understand what's going on, and you're emotionally mature. The 8th and 9th, the 8th is pretty much the same. The 9th we have a grand trine in fire in the chart, and in, yeah, so this is a wonderful day for people who do work intuitively as psychic clairvoyants. If you go up on stage today, or if you try and make a breakthrough, if you go live on YouTube or whatever, today is a really good day for you to do that, Taurus. So putting yourself into the limelight with your expertise, the 9th of November is excellent for that. So is the 10th. Now, and as a result of putting yourself out there into the limelight, what could happen is by the time the 11th, 12th and 13th of November roll around, that could have a transformative effect on your career, your skill set, or what you're going to do in future. So you may start to understand that you're too good for this job, or that you have too many skills, or you may have the idea to make a lateral move in terms of your work, or to move somewhere else in terms of living and working somewhere else. Those are topics that are really going to interest you this month, Taurus. And that doesn't happen very often because travel and moving and flitting around the world isn't your scene. You don't do that. But remember, Venus is in retrograde. And for you, when your ruler is in retrograde, sometimes it gives you freedom from yourself. You may feel less creative, less beautiful, less attractive, but you may feel more open to making changes in your life. The 14th and 15th are ideal days to teach, and again to take the things that you've understood and perfected and created your own language around, to teach that to other people. Mars is at 29 degrees in Aquarius in your 10th house as well. You will have a great effect on people. You'll communicate well, on the 14th and 15th. So these are the days to go for job interviews, to ask for a promotion, to teach and help and heal other people. It's not a good day to start your own business because Venus is still in retrograde, even though it's coming out tomorrow. But I would really focus on making the most of the content that you're providing at work. Now the 16th is an amazing day because a lot happens. First of all, Venus goes direct, hooray. Your ruler is direct. I've got a Taurus rising, so I get it. With Venus being in retrograde, I've really struggled to get my point across in the way I like. It's been very weird. Also on the 16th of November until the 6th of December, Mercury in Sagittarius goes retrograde. And Mercury is in your 8th house. So where you've been doing so well up until now, working with other people and connecting, Mercury going retrograde in your 8th means that if you're working in an office or if you work with other people, you start to feel a little bit isolated and you don't know what to say, and you'll be a bit daydreamy and thinking about other things and changing your work. But it's not very practical. It's just like escapism. That's what I feel. So if you really genuinely want to change work, then make practical plans. Don't just daydream about it, because you do have Pluto, the rising, your moon and Saturn in Capricorn on the 12th. So you can make plans. On the 12th, yeah. So then 13th, 14th, 15th, yeah, that's what I meant. Those are the days to do work. Those are the days to ask for promotion, to teach. The 16th is that day when we have Venus going direct, so that's great. We also have Mercury going retrograde. I said that, so relationships in your working life are going to become harder. Make sure you express yourself clearly. And also Mars goes into Pisces on the 16th of November. So Mars going into Pisces is like Mars is dead in Pisces, basically. Mars rules Aries. It likes to move forward. In Pisces, it's forced to kind of connect with a higher power, to be selfless, to be self-sacrificing, and Mars doesn't really know how to do that. So Mars is really disempowered, and the strongest element on this day is water. So it's all about femininity, taking things in, connecting with something bigger than yourself, and not forcing things to go your way. The moon goes into Pisces in your 11th house on the 17th and 18th, and then in Aries on the 19th, 20th, yeah, the 19th and 20th. So making progress in terms of your spirituality and in terms of connecting with something bigger than yourself, that's going to be really good as well in terms of healing how you speak and making sure that you're not misunderstood and that you get your point across the way you would like. 21st, 22nd, those are good days for you financially, so expect some sort of money to come into your life, some sort of a windfall. On the 23rd, we have the full moon in Gemini, and the important thing is that this happens in your second house of money. So Venus is now direct. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is retrograde, so it's going to push you to invest in something or to make something big happen in terms of taking a risk financially. I would not suggest taking a risk financially because we have Mercury in retrograde, and it's far more likely that it's going to mess things up for you than having a wonderful investment opportunity. There's always the exception to the norm, but I think you'll be much more likely to be disappointed if you invest now rather than later on. 24th, the moon is still in Gemini, so again you'll have that desire to communicate. Make sure you don't say the wrong thing, that you're not misunderstood, and money matters I would leave alone completely. The moon is in Cancer in your 3rd house until the 27th of November, so that's very much about nurturing other people. You'll be interested in hanging out with friends, family, people who are close to you, and you'll want to feel loved. So I do feel that at some point here in the month you may want to retreat into your shell a little bit, that something hasn't worked out and that you need a little bit of support and healing here at the end of the month. So ask for help if you're close to your family, or if you have a group of friends who are like family, then say, wow, it's been really rough for me, help me out, you know, I could really use that, and that will be given to you. And then finally on the 29th, 30th and 1st of December, the moon is in Virgo in your 5th house, and that sense of being hurt and being spiritually alone is kind of taken from you, because at the end of the month you're really likely to meet someone if you're a single Taurus. With the moon in Virgo in your 5th, it brings someone new into your life. So if you're single and looking, make sure that you're out and about at the end of the month. It's likely that you meet someone who's going to become a fixture in your life. So that's what I get for you here in November. I hope it gives you something to go on. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please go to my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading. And in my personal readings, I use the astrology chart, which is a blueprint of your soul. It shows me what your life purpose is, where you've been in past lifetimes, what your vocational aptitudes are, what's destined for you in love and money and health and moving. If you're interested in that, please order it. Remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll speak to you next month.